down.
Hmm.
It's not just the city you see during the day, the history, the commerce. Something else wakes up.
Yeah, a whole different energy. It really transforms.
And to give you a bit of a shortcut into understanding this side of Colombo, we've done a deep dive into a specific source. It's a tourist guide.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
A guide focused purely on Colombo's best bars, pubs, and nightclubs.
So our mission is basically to pull out the key stuff from this guide, help you get a feel for this scene, which, like the guide says, is this interesting mix.
Yeah, it's that blend, isn't it? The colonial history alongside this really quite sophisticated modern scene.
It really shows the city kind of stepping out.
Definitely onto the global stage, you could say. And what really jumps out from the guide right away is just the sheer variety now.
It's not just a few places anymore.
No, far from it. The guide describes this whole tapestry of experiences. You've got these amazing rooftop places with killer views, but also these little hidden gems. Lots to discover.
Okay, so let's talk about that variety. The guide mentions rooftop revelries as a big thing. Why are they so key?
Well, it's about perspective, isn't it? You're up high looking out.
Over the city?
Yeah, over the sea, or sometimes the ocean. It gives you this amazing panorama, especially, as the sun's setting.
Ah, the sunset views.
Exactly. The guide points to places like vistas for
Yeah.
360 views. You see all the lights twinkling.
Yeah.
And ON14 is mentioned for its ocean sunsets. You're practically sitting by an infinity pool watching it.
Wow. Sounds amazing.
It's pretty special. It's as much about the atmosphere and the view as the actual drink sometimes.
Speaking of drinks, the guide also digs into the actual, well, the art of the cocktail scene. Sounds like that's taken off.
Oh, absolutely. There's a real focus now on, proper craft cocktails. Premium spirits, sure, but also using local ingredients.
Local ingredients, like what?
Well, the guide mentions herbs, spices, local fruits. Botana gets a shout out specifically for using herbs, some apparently even from their own garden.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah, it makes for some pretty unique, sophisticated drinks. Then there's the Love Bar at Flamingo House, known for these really creative, almost storytelling cocktails in this very quirky but elegant setting. It's that global trend, but with a definite Sri Lankan twist.
Okay, but it's not all fancy cocktails and rooftops, is it? The guide talks about classic pubs, too.
Right, exactly. The enduring appeal of just a comfortable, unpretentious spot. Good for meeting friends, maybe catching some sport.
Like a proper pub vibe.
Yeah. The guide mentions the Manchester for that real British pub feel, screens for sports and all that. And then Inn on the Green, which is actually inside the Galley Face Hotel.
Oh, the historic hotel.
That's the one. So you get that colonial charm, but they have live music nights. It shows how these old places are finding new life.
And for something maybe a bit different, the guide mentions unique and themed places.
Yes, if you want something less conventional, like Bailey Street Merchants, the guide describes it as a kind of speakeasy.
Oh, interesting. Hidden away.
Yeah, tucked away in the Ford area. Think expert cocktails, intimate vibe. And then, totally different, there's the Gallery Cafe.
I've heard of that. Isn't it in an architect's old office?
Diffrey Balwas, yeah. So it's got this really serene, artistic garden setting.
Ah.
A very different kind of place to have a drink.
So what happens if it gets late? Does the guide cover, proper late-night spots?
It does. For keeping the night going, Colombo is mentioned as
Yeah.
a big nightclub, DJs, dancing.
Right.
Floor by O is noted for live music that goes on pretty late. And for the really late owls, some of the casino bars like Bally's or Bellagio are open 24/7 apparently.
Yeah.
Usually quite an upscale feel there.
Okay, useful to know. Now let's get practical. The guide offers some tips for you, the listener. Getting around.
Yeah. Seems pretty straightforward. Ride-hailing apps like PickMe or Uber are easy to use. Tuk-tuks are everywhere, of course. It's going to agree on the fare beforehand.
And dress code, anything to watch out for.
Generally pretty relaxed, the guide says. But for the more upscale bars and clubs, think smart casual. So maybe, avoid the shorts and flip-flops for those spots.
Good tip. And local drinks, what should you try?
Definitely Arak. It's the local spirit distilled from coconut flower sap or sugarcane. The guide suggests trying it simple, maybe with ginger beer.
Okay.
And the main local beer is Lion Lager. Pretty refreshing in that climate.
All right. What about tipping?
Check the bill first is the advice. Often a 10% service charge is already included. If it's not, then around 10% is standard if you got good service.
And finally, a quick word on safety.
Yeah, just the usual sensible stuff, really. Stick to well-lit areas. Maybe use ride-hailing apps at night rather than just hailing something randomly. And, of course, drink responsibly.
Makes sense. So wrapping this up, this deep dive into the guide, it really shows a Colombo nightlife scene that's, well, incredibly diverse, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. From high above the city lights down to these hidden little corners, it's dynamic.
It feels like exploring these places tells you something about the city itself, doesn't it? This blend of old and new, this energy.
Absolutely. It's about experiencing Colombo's contemporary pulse. It's warm heart, really.
So maybe the question for you is, what does exploring these different facets of Colombo's nightlife reveal about your sense of the city's evolving character?
Yeah, something to think about. Just get out there, explore safely, and